Well, let's go to our sixth race of the afternoon. This one is 6 furlongs. Claim is 3-year-olds and up. $6,250. We have a jockey change on the 12. Make the rider Juan Gallardo. And also note Veritech, there's an unpublished work that you'll see on the crawler. We'll put a state up later over at Gulfstream on October 11th. We're 3 furlongs in fast and 39.15. So that work on Veritech will appear on the crawl. And we'll put a slate up about it later just so you know there is a workout on that horse. And we both have the number 7 in here. Dangerous Trick, changing hands today. Easy for me to say, changing hands today.
Well, I think Dangerous Trick is certainly going to be dangerous today. He's making his first start off the claim, like you mentioned, for David Jacobson. Last time out, he broke a 4-race win streak in finishing 4th at this level and distance on September 27th. But I want you to keep in mind that was off just 7 days rest. And I went back and looked at his past performances, and he had never had that quick of a turnaround in his entire 29-race career, dating back to 2012. So I expect him to return to winning form today. He's just too good at this level, and he's going to be much better rested.
I used the 8-mind spell, turning back to 3/4, set the pace, finish second, going a 1-turn mile across town. Safi Joseph Jr. This horse really likes Gulfstream Park West. 7 previous races, 2 wins, a second and a third. Let's flip the page because the next race is our first of 2 stakes races on the afternoon, and this is the 1 mile, the Cellar Shiraz for 3-year-old fillies, and we'd like to go back and show you a race back on June 15, and it's the Starfish Bay Stakes, and it's one of my favorite horses, I know, and one of yours, and that's Daring Cathy, drawing off pretty impressively in this race.
Yes, this was the Starfish Bay Stakes back in June at Gulfstream. Daring Cathy draws off very, very impressively. She's going to win by 5.5 lengths. She's returning to South Florida today. I'm very excited to see her. She spent the summers up north running in her first graded stakes races. She finished 3rd in both, and I think she ran much better than those thirds indicated. She set the pace and faded in the grade 2 Lake George at Saratoga. She really pressured the pace in a grade 3 up at Woodbine, and she still ran very well. I expect her to win again today. Really exciting filly to watch.
And I want to mention there's 2 scratches in that race, and one is the number 8 Arissa, and the other one is the main track only participant in here, and that is the number 12 horse. We both have 11 Done One, and Done One was working on a really impressive 3-race win streak, and you look at his last race, got hung wide. That was in the Wasted Tears. There was lots of traffic in that race during the stretch run. It got hung out wide, but after all of that, beaten only 1 3/4 lengths. Manny Wayar is the trainer, and been watching this rider, Diego Gomez, win lots of races here. He's a real good rider. You know, maybe he doesn't get the same publicity as other riders, but he's riding great. So number 11, Done One on my ticket for that reason. I also used the 4, Lemon Point, changes builds today. Goes from Bill Mott to Bill White, so we call that the old change in Bill angle. And this one, a really nice horse in here, but I see you used the number 5 in here, Derek's Girl.
I think Derek's Girl could be a real dark horse in this race from the Marty Wolfson stable. He is just on fire. He's so great with his fillies and mares in the stakes here at Gulfstream Park West and Gulfstream this summer. What he and Miller Racing, the owners, do, they specialize in seeking out fillies and getting them black type. He just did it in the Wasted Tears stakes that you were mentioning with Lilborn Eliza. This one just switched over to the turf and got a win for Wolfson. She ran really well early in her career on synthetics, so he thought she would like the turf. He was right. I think she could get some black type on her past performances today to help her out in the breeding later on in her career.
Well, here's the question. Did we single Daring Cathy in our Rainbow Six ticket today?
I don't know if I would single it, maybe too deep, but she's definitely the class.
Yeah, so let's go to the 8th race here because, as you mentioned, the Rainbow Six is well underway now. We had started in the 5th race, so you have to decide if you're going to single Daring Cathy, and we'll talk about the next stake in a minute. But first, the 8th race, 7 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 races or life, a race since April 18th, or 3-year-olds. So you got your choice here. The fill of this race, $30,000. I went with the number 1 horse here, My Brown-Eyed Guy, returning from the layoff, hoping to recapture the form he displayed in the 7 furlong affirmed and the 6 furlong Dr. Fager, albeit in 2013. The gelding loves this track. 5 previous races here, 3 wins in the second. Who else? Kathleen O'Connell, Eduardo Nunez.
Well, this My Brown Eyed Guy is actually a half brother to Blue Eyed Babe that we're going to see earlier that we talked about, the 7 that's debuting today.
Oh, so we got a family affair.
If she runs well, you're definitely going to want to play My Brown Eyed Guy. My only concern with him was that he hasn't had many works since his last race, which was 5 months ago. If he had a little bit more, maybe a little bit more fit, I would have definitely put him on top in here. I went with the 7, Man Mike. He looks dangerous in his first start for trainer Gustavo Delgado. 37% that trainer is in that category. He was last seen finishing a well-beaten 6th in allowance behind the gutsy and speedy Palatine Hill, but he brought a 2-race win streak into that start, and he should be fresh off the 3-month break.
We both have the 10 Tell Friend, and it's Jorge Navarro dropping his horse in from Monmouth Park, so got to use that somewhere on your ticket. As I mentioned, a double staked day here at Gulfstream Park West, our 9th race for 3-year-olds, $90,000. The showing up, and we want to go back and show you a race from Saratoga.
Yeah, let's take a field trip up to the spa. We're going to show you the Grade 2 Hall of Fame Stakes from August 8th. You're going to see Walliana rally to win by a length. He gets a Grade 2 win, and he's the only graded stakes winner in this field today. You were talking about, do we single Daring Cathy? I'm not sure if you single Daring Cathy, but I think you should single Walliana.
All right, so we got Katie single here today with the number 11 Walliana. We'll have to run this by Pete, our expert, Pete Aiello, our track announcer, with his Rainbow Six ticket. I don't know if he's singling Walliana or not. We'll find out. He's here.
He's looking right now.
He's looking right now if he's going to single Walliana. He's helping us from the sidelines in here. We also use the 7 Dusty Moore's turning back to a mile and 8 after rallying late to finish 3rd. That was in the 8 miles each. And what I like about this horse, I think this horse is going to sit a nice second flight trip behind the speed and run very well in here. Going to have its running shoes on to beat Walliana. And Pete, give us the thumbs up. He's definitely going to use Walliana as his single. Also used the number 9, Little Daddy. Who else did you use on your ticket?
I put the 6 Best Plan Yen on my ticket. He produced a really emotional win for trainer Stanley Gold last out in taking the 49er stakes at Gulfstream in his last start. Gold had been saying for months in several races that he thought this colt had a bright future on turf, and he finally proved him right. It was a very nice win, gritty effort, stalked on the rail, came into the stretch and drew off to win by a length and a half. I think he can continue to build off of that win and continue to excel on turf.
You know, it's your angle of, using Edgar Zayas if you see him somewhere on it. I'm going to use the number 9, Little Daddy, on my ticket, who ran a really good second. That was in the $75,000 English Channel. Carlo Vaccarese is the trainer. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. So on your multiple wager tickets there, how to find a spot for the number 9 in here, Little Daddy. So we'll see how this very nice 9th race shapes up. And when we go to the 10th race, want to remind you, we do have the Super High 5 here each and every day. And boy, we had paying some pretty nice price. How they hit it is amazing to me. Some of them, and they come back, you say, well, there's nobody. Maybe they can have the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd horse, but they can't have the 4th and 5th. Boom, they have it.
What a great wager that is. Lots of fun to play.
Well, our 10th race, 6 furlongs maiden claim is Philly's 2-year-old, $16,000. Scratch my Alexandra, and I went with the 11, Dancing with Daddy, and so did you.
I did. We've got our exactas are exactly the same. We're differing with our show horses, but Dancing with Daddy, she's dropping down to a $16,000 tag after 2 pretty solid efforts while running for $25,000. She actually made a pretty decent bid along the rail last time out. Looked like she was looming large around the turn, but the rail was just not playing well that day in the slop, and it just didn't play to her favor. She's breaking from the 11 today. I'm really curious to see how she responds to making a bid from the outside, because in her 2 starts so far, she's always come from along the rail.
I would both use the number 6 in here. Geico, I think it's pronounced, dropping back to the best level. If you look, second against $16,000 claimers back on August 31st after showing early speed and fading to finish 7th. That was behind Dancing with Daddy. I just think this is a better spot for this horse. The trainer is Augustin Becerra. He's got Edgar Zayas in the saddle today. I went with the 5, Peggy Grieves Me, in 3rd, and you went with the number 7 horse in there.
Yeah, let's take a look at There She Goes for a second. We're going to go into the pedigree. She's debuting for the Dennis Ward barn. She's from the Stormcat stallion, Mr. Maybe. He's 19% with his debut runners. That's pretty impressive. But you may not have heard of Mr. Maybe. He's actually a half-brother to Victory Ride. Very nice stallion there. And he was a very versatile runner. He won from 6 furlongs to 1.25 miles. This one has 12 published works leading up to her debut, so she should be sharp. I'd keep an eye on her.
We're going to do that, and the queen of the breeding here today knows everything about everything as far as breeding goes. She loves this game, and why not? It's a fun game. Once again, we want to remind you, if you're here on track and you buy a program, a big program or a daily racing form, you'll be able to pick up one of these Gulfstream Park Fall Turf Festival hats absolutely free with your purchase. You can pick them up, I think, at the South entranceway, and we'll see how things play out. Any parting words before we come back in about 10 minutes and turn it over to Pete Aiello?
Yeah, well, if you were here last week, you can pair this nice hat with your nice Gulfstream Park West T-shirt that we gave out. Lots of nice giveaways, and you can look great here at Gulfstream Park West. Enjoy the card. It's a really good one today.
And it's a beautiful day, and like I said, Pete Aiello will be up here in just a moment to give you all the changes you need to make your day at Gulfstream Park West fun.